Hi guys, Emily here. Today is the day after the Booktube-A-Thon, so I didn't film anything from day 7. I did read, but I was busy too, so there wasn't any filming. I am going to share my wrap-up with you today. Day 6, like I mentioned, I went to meet up with a friend who had done her who is working on her master's in Russia. And so we met up for lunch and we just had a really great time, and we talked about the book for the book club because she's a member of this book club that we've sort of been running for the past year or so. And it was really nice just to get together again as a book club and to talk about this book over lunch. It was great. I loved it. And it was of course wonderful to catch up with my friend as well. So then some reading happened around that. Day 7, got some solid reading in after work, and then I hung out with my partner for the day, and then I got a little bit of reading in, and so I did manage to read all the books. So here are some fun stats. I've been keeping track of the page count. So for the Booktube-A-Thon, I read 2,026 pages total across these 7 books. And those 7 books, if you've been following along, you know, Dear Ejiwale, beautiful butchering of that name, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Rousseau, In the Hand of the Goddess by Tamora Pierce, Juniper Lemon's Happiness Index by Julie Israel, On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher, Been Here All Along by Sandy Hall, and The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I generally had pretty good reads. I didn't rate anything lower than 3 stars. And that 3-star book is actually Juniper Lemon, which I have a review for, which I will link down below. The review should have gone up already by the time you're seeing this. But yeah, everything else, 4, 4.5, 5-star books. Was really, really pleased. In terms of the challenges, so read a book with a person on the cover. I read 3 books with people on the cover. Read a hyped book. I've got these 2 for a hyped book. Finish a book in one day. I finished these 2 both in one day, in the same day, and then after that I ended up splitting up books across days. So the next challenge was to read a book about a character who is different from you, which basically applies to all of the characters. I am not, like, just literally all of the books could qualify for this, but this I think qualifies the most, and this was my intended pick for that, and that is If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Rousseau. This is about Amanda, a trans girl, and the story was amazing. I loved this. Then read a book completely outdoors. And for that, I have Juniper Lemon, and then I have Read a Book You Bought Because of the Cover. A couple qualify here. This I was counting as part of a cover buy, and this I was counting as part of a cover buy, so both beautiful books. Neither was on my intended cover buy list. And then 7 books. And I do have 7 books here, so I feel like I did really well, all things considered, because I was working this whole week. In all fairness, I dropped the ball on basically everything else I was supposed to be doing in the past week. So this week is gonna be interesting. I have a lot of chapters to copy edit for a manuscript I'm working on. Yeah. I am going to pay for my choices, but I genuinely had a lot of fun. It's been a really long time since I sat down and read anything cover to cover in like such a condensed amount of time, and that's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about. So while I was doing the Booktube-A-Thon, I took notes of things. Number 1 is that in general, I waste a lot of time watching YouTube videos sort of passively. So generally, I fill my time where I take a little break from like editing or from whatever else I have to do as an adult human, and I will throw on a YouTube video and I'll make a cup of tea as I listen to that video. So it's very like passive engagement with YouTube, whereas I found this week, because I was so focused on reading, like all of my time was reading, and when I took a break, I either didn't want to engage in anything else, so it was just like a quiet time to actually recharge, or I actually set aside time and I sat down and I watched like one video and I commented on that video if I felt it was relevant to comment on it, or at least I was thinking about it and processing it and making notes. just doing this throughout the week has made me more cognizant of how I consume content in my regular day. The other thing I've noticed, I really like reading books in one shot. Like, it is incredibly lovely to sit and to experience a whole story in one day. A lot of the times that's just not possible. I have so many books on the go because I need different books for different attention spans. Like, I am not going to be reading some like heavy fantasy theory in line for the bank, but I can read something light and fluffy like YA or 9 to 12 in line for the bank. So I pick different books to take with me throughout my day so that I'm constantly reading, but I'm never in the same world for long. And what I found really lovely about this week was actually getting to spend time in this world and to just be with the characters, be with the narrative. My wrist is better. It's a little tender sometimes. So I mean, my intention was to post videos every day. That obviously didn't happen. Now I am going to edit all of these things. I think I'm gonna just blow them all out at you guys, then we'll go from there. So thank you so much for watching. If you've been following along throughout this whole experience on Instagram, because that's really the only place I updated live, let me know how your Booktube-A-Thon went. What was your favorite book that you read? I will see you guys soon. Bye.